13 weeks of the NFL season has come and gone. Welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel. And it is Wednesday or after Wednesday. And you already know what that means. It is time for my updated 2023 NFL mock draft. And this one is certainly different than the rest. A couple guys have fallen out of my first round, not really for lack of performance. I'm going to say more of the fact that it's kind of how the board fell. So you're going to see some guys that are out. You're going to see some new guys. And also prospect news. This is around the time of the year where a lot of draft eligible prospects make their decision, if they're underclassmen, if they want to go back to school for another year or if they want to declare for the NFL draft. Now, we've seen a couple top prospects declare for the NFL draft. We've also seen a couple guys opt to go back to school. Last week it was Ola Fashanu. This week it's Kayshon Boutte. I think it's a very, very smart move for Kayshon Boutte, a guy who got a lot of hype throughout the entire year, didn't necessarily live up to the hype. I know his intangibles and the way he plays the game tells a lot more than his stats, but he can only really build his profile for the 2024 NFL draft, in my opinion. So I thought it was a smart move. This is definitely going to be a different one. So it's going to look a lot different than last week, believe it or not. But of course, as we dive right into it, the number one overall pick, the Houston Texans, we are not changing anything. As long as the Houston Texans are number one overall in my book, they are going to go with a quarterback. And of course, they're going to go with the best quarterback available. And to me, that is Bryce Young. So no explanation there. The most quarterback needy team in the NFL, really. No brainer. And then this is really where the draft starts. Really two ways that the Chicago Bears can go. And a lot of Chicago Bears fans have reached out to me and said, well, I think we should trade the pick. And I can't really disagree with that. But if you have two defensive guys right here at number 2 overall, Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, that trumps any king's ransom that I'm going to get, because these guys are generational football players, in my opinion. Obviously, we've said that about countless guys. Countless guys have come and gone. These guys, it's different. I don't know. Jalen Carter was just different against LSU in the SEC championship game. Will Anderson Jr. is just different. I really think it's a toss-up. It's really on what you think is the right pick. Either way, you can't go wrong. For me, 3-tech is the biggest need for the Chicago Bears. It's a no-brainer. Jalen Carter, the best player in the entire draft. I think it's a no-brainer at number 2 overall to take Jalen Carter. And then Seattle with a big need at edge. Will Anderson Jr. is here. Seattle cannot believe that they added another young elite piece to their defense here at number 3. Then at number 4, a couple different ways Detroit can go. But the way that the Detroit Lions have been playing football, especially on the offensive side the last couple weeks, leads me to believe that really Jared Goff isn't going anywhere. His contract is pretty manageable for the most part, and he's having probably the second best season of his career up until this point. So that kind of leads me away from CJ Stroud. I like Myles Murphy here as well. They do have a glaring need at edge rusher as well, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. But I still think they need a lot of help in that secondary. And they need another cornerback on the opposite of Jeff Okudah. And I think Kelee Ringo is well worth a top 5 pick in this year's draft. And that's who I'm going with right here with the 4th overall pick. Then at number 5, that's where Myles Murphy comes into play. Obviously, the biggest need for the Philadelphia Eagles, which, I don't know, this team is really firing on all cylinders. It doesn't really look like they need much. But if you break down the roster, it's really cornerback and it's really edge. And edge trumps cornerback, in my opinion. We're going to go with Myles Murphy here at number 5. Then at number 6, Carolina wins a game and they still somehow can get their guy. I know that they were just off of a bye week, but before that, they won a game. Sam Darnold, great game, I guess, coming off of IR. So good, in fact, that the Carolina Panthers cut Baker Mayfield. So we're going to go with Sam Darnold, I guess, the rest of the way. But nevertheless, Sam Darnold's a free agent after this year. Even if he wasn't, I really don't think it makes a difference. I think we're going CJ Stroud here at number 6, especially if he's here. I know there's been some conflicting reports that ownership really, really likes Will Levis. Listen, that may be true at the end of the day. Really, this is all speculation up until we get towards the combine. So with none of these reports really having any substance behind them, I'm still going to go with the best player available in this spot. And to me, CJ Stroud is a way better player than Will Levis. So I'm going to go with CJ Stroud at number 6. Then at number 7, a multitude of different ways the Jacksonville Jaguars can go. You can go offensive line. You have your pick. There hasn't been an offensive lineman taken yet in this draft. You can go cornerback, still some great cornerbacks left. You got Joey Porter Jr., you got Cam Smith, you got Christian Gonzalez if you want to do that as well. But I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston here. I think that they do need another weapon. Got a couple of free agents coming up, and I think getting a true number one wide receiver like Quentin Johnston would be absolutely ideal for Trevor Lawrence, who has taken the step forward and who does look like a franchise quarterback. Get him what he needs, and to me, that's a number one option in this passing offense. Then you have the Arizona Cardinals here at number 8. Another sticky situation. Offensive line is huge. Defensive line is huge. You got Tyree Wilson here. You got Brian Breesy here. So many different ways that they can go. Cornerback, still a really, really big issue for the Arizona Cardinals. Going to go with Joey Porter Jr. A lot of people as their number one cornerback on the board. I still think Kelee Ringo is number one. And I also think Cam Smith is closing the gap as number 2. But Joey Porter is still absolutely fantastic. And he fills a massive need for the Arizona Cardinals. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts here. As much as I don't like to do this, I know people in the comments section have been saying, oh, why are you getting Will Levis? I don't think Will Levis is a first-round pick. I'm here to tell you guys and look you dead in the face. Judging by what I've seen, I kind of have to agree with you. But the fact of the matter is that I am not an NFL scout, and I never claim to be, and I probably will 100% will never be one. So I'm going off of what I hear. NFL scouts love this guy. And I just said that there was a report from Carolina saying that ownership really wants Will Levis. People love this guy. The stats aren't there, but he also doesn't have the greatest supporting cast around him. His footwork is good. He doesn't really make great decisions. I'd like to see him improve his decision making. Got a cannon of an arm. He's very mobile. He's big. He's strong. He's got all the intangibles. He just has to put it together. So I think Will Levis is the pick here for Indianapolis. It's about time that they stop going after veteran quarterbacks and just get their guy of the future. Develop someone. They have to develop him. I thought at the beginning of the year that they were a franchise quarterback away from being Super Bowl contenders. This year has proven different, but it starts and ends with the quarterback position for the Indianapolis Colts. Got to go with them there. Defensive line is a big issue here at number 10 for the Atlanta Falcons. You got to go with the most defensive line versatile player in the entire draft. That's Tyree Wilson. I've said it in multiple weeks. The guy lines up everywhere on the defensive line. And the defensive line is a big, big issue for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't have to tell you Atlanta Falcons fans. I think you guys would be absolutely thrilled with getting someone like Tyree Wilson. And then I'm going to do something that I think I haven't done in a really long time with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to have to cave in here. I'm going to have to go offensive line with this pick. I think Peter Skoronski is a good pick here for the Green Bay Packers. Line versatility, as you guys know, if you've been an avid watcher of these mock drafts, I state it basically every week. I'm a big line versatility guy. When you got someone that can and has played tackle at the college level and also projects to be a better guard at the next level, you got versatility. He can kick inside and he could play guard. I don't know if Elton Jenkins is going to come back. He's probably going to command a lot of money in free agency. We've seen that Green Bay doesn't really like to open up their wallet and spend big time on their free agents. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Regardless, I still think that they need offensive line help. You know, Royce Newman's been okay. John Runyon Jr. has been okay, but I don't know. They haven't been grading out very well this year. And I think Skoronski is a guy that you could either put in at right tackle or you could put in at guard, at either left or right guard. So I think it's a good pick there. Then they got the Las Vegas Raiders here at number 12. Same deal as last week. The defensive line is pretty much a disaster. Edge is in play here, but I'm going to go with the interior, and I'm going to go with Brian Breesy. I think that he adds a defensive tackle talent that they do not have currently, and it improves their run defense, which has been better of recent weeks, but it's not anything to write home about. So I'm going to go with Brian Breesy here at number 12. Then at number 13, you're going to get the Addy Daddy. Jordan Addison pairs up with Bryce Young and forms a very, very nice duo in the first round for the Houston Texans. I like Jordan Addison. A lot of people still think he's the number one wide receiver on this board. I'm still going to have to disagree and say it's Quentin Johnston. But Jordan Addison, it's like 1A and 1B and 1C with JSN, to be honest with you. I think Addison is a great fit in Houston, and he solves another massive need for them. Then you get the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Got to go offensive line. Paris Johnson Jr. on the board. No-brainer here for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Then coming around with pick number 15, the Detroit Lions. Again, a couple different ways that you can go. I really do like Michael Mayer here. And someone brought up a good point last week and says, well, you talked about certain fits for Michael Mayer. Cincinnati obviously is a big one. The Chargers are a big one. Washington could be one. Tennessee is kind of like a match made in heaven for them. How about Detroit? And I kind of had to look into it. And honestly, it's a great fit. But here's the thing. I still think that this defense is punching above their weight as of right now. They are playing well, but they're playing with a lot of momentum. We've seen this defensive unit at their worst. We've also seen them at their best this year. And they're pretty good, and they're really, really bad at the same time. I think with 2 first-round picks, the offense is not the issue. They have a top 5 offensive line when fully healthy. Jared Goff, when you give him weapons, he's a pretty good quarterback, and they have weapons and under control weapons too. So I'm going to have to go with another defensive player, and they have to shore up the linebacker position. I'm going to go with Trenton Simpson here. I could go edge here with Isaiah Foskey, but I think Trenton Simpson is a player that the Detroit Lions absolutely have to get if he's here. He automatically makes that linebacking core that much better. Then moving on to the Chargers, speaking of Michael Mayer, I believe this is where I have him going. Let me just check my notes here real quick. Sometimes I forget. Michael Mayer, yes, to the LA Chargers. And I don't think Gerald Everett is obviously it past this year. I mean, he's been good this year. He hasn't been great, but they haven't also asked him to do that much. I think really shoring up the tight end position, also giving Justin Herbert another weapon that can block as well as Michael Mayer can. I like the fit a lot here. It's not a humongous need for them, but it is a need for them, definitely. And if you want to get better offensively, Michael Mayer is going to make you get better offensively. Then moving on to the New England Patriots, Jackson Smith-Njigba is sitting right here. Got to go with JSN. Absolutely, no question. Here's where things get weird. Washington, pick number 18. I'm going Anthony Richardson. Do I like Anthony Richardson? I think he has the most talent, raw talent, out of any quarterback that's going to be in this class. Do I think he's going to put it together? I really don't know. None of us really know. But he has the potential to be a slam dunk pick. And especially at number 18, he has a big chance to be a slam dunk pick. I don't know. Washington's made a couple mistakes at quarterback. You never know. It's really a crapshoot. I mean, any of these picks are a crapshoot if you think about it. No one is a sure thing, but I think a lot of teams, especially for the quarterback position, a lot of teams love banking off of pure potential. Me personally, I like to see a little bit more of a statistical background. Anthony Richardson does not have that, but he's also not even in his football prime. He hasn't even really scratched the surface of what he could do on a football field. And that's very, very, that's very appealing to football teams, especially pro football teams, because if you can get a guy before he even hits his physical maturity, God only knows what you could do with them. So I think Anthony Richardson is definitely a wild card pick here, but with really no sense of direction. Cornerback is a big need for them, obviously, as well. But I kind of like the fit here. I think Washington is a young, up-and-coming team. Taylor Heineke's a good story. Doesn't really do it for me. He moves the needle in terms of momentum and kind of rah-rahing his guys up. But Carson Wentz obviously is a failed experiment already. So I think Richardson could be the key to some long-term sustained success there. Then at number 19, Cam Smith is on the board. Got to go Cam Smith here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a glaring need after the offseason at the cornerback position. Then Seattle here at number 20. And I'm going to have to go with Osiris Torrance here. The reason why is I know you look at their line. They have Austin Blythe at center. They have Gabe Jackson and Damian Lewis as their 2 guards. They haven't been great this year. And, Gabe Jackson is going to be entering his age 33 season next year. I know that really age isn't the biggest factor when it comes to offensive linemen. I think you just need more talent there. I love what they've done with Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross. Why not make the offensive line younger and stronger? Osiris Torrance, I think, would be a wild card pick. I think that they could use maybe some secondary help. They could use a linebacker. Noah Sewell is still on the board here. I kind of like Osiris Torrance here. I'm switching it up a little bit this week. So I'm going to go with Osiris Torrance at number 20. At number 21, you have the Tennessee Titans, and tackle is a big need. I'm going to go with Broderick Jones here. Makes a ton of sense. The offensive line, I feel like, has been playing better than they should be. So just got to make that a stronger position. And then you got the New York Jets. going to go with a little bit of another wild card pick here, and I'm going to go with DeJuan Jones. The reason I'm going to go with DeJuan Jones is we've seen it in years past, granted, a failed experiment up until this point, but Mekhi Becton, the biggest offensive tackle in that class. Joe Douglas, salivating at the mouth. DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 359 pounds, but is able to keep his weight under control. He's just a massive human being. Whereas Mekhi Becton struggled to keep his weight below 400 pounds at times. There's nothing he could really do about it. Is it genetics? Maybe. I don't know what it is. If he's inactive, he just gains a ton of weight. But DeJuan Jones is a different animal. And I think that when the draft season comes upon us a little bit further, I think a lot of people are going to see that this guy has first-round potential. Has he put it all together yet? No. But I think if you give him, tackles usually struggle at the next level in their first year anyway. It's definitely an adjustment period. So if you put this guy who has all the tools and you let him kind of figure it out with reps, with game reps, I think he could be a franchise left tackle. Then you go to the New York Giants here at pick number 23, and I'm going to go with Christian Gonzalez. I really wanted to go wide receiver here. No one really stood out to me. I know I picked Jalen Hyatt in this scenario before, but I don't know. The New York Giants don't like to really push the ball downfield necessarily. I know Darius Slayton has a couple really, really long catches this year, but they don't really like to push the issue. It's really more of the Saquon Barkley show, and they like to keep the ball on the ground, and that's certainly okay. It's worked for them up until this point, but the secondary definitely needs some help here. That is definitely their second biggest need outside of wide receiver, and Christian Gonzalez is a high first-round talent. He's got the size, he plays boundary corner, and that's really what the New York Giants need, is a true boundary corner. Then you have the Tennessee Titans, the Denver Broncos here at number 24. Going to go with an offensive tackle here, and I'm going to go with Jalen Duncan. Another guy who I've had some high praise for in weeks past, kind of a guy that falls in and out of my first round every once in a while, but Duncan is in a similar situation to DeJuan Jones, but he's a little bit more refined. So I think if you stick him at right tackle for a year, he could be your franchise blindside blocker for years and years to come, and that's definitely what the Denver Broncos need. Then you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens here at pick number 25. Edge is a big need. Wide receiver is a big need. I'm going Bijan Robinson. I think that J.K. Dobbins has been a failed experiment to this point. He's been good when healthy. The only problem is he just can't stay on the field. Gus Edwards has been okay. Guy just can't stay on the field. I really, really think Bijan Robinson not only takes some of the load off of Lamar Jackson, but that also gives him another target in the passing game. And you're really killing two birds with one stone. You could split the guy out wide. Is he going to be a wide receiver for you? Absolutely not. He's a running back. But that's another weapon that Lamar Jackson can use if he decides to re-sign in Baltimore. Hint, hint. So Cincinnati is up next at number 26. And I'm going to go with secondary here. I really think that they need a boundary cornerback very, very badly. And Clark Phillips sitting here, that's great. Clark Phillips, 5'10", 183 pounds. That's not going to win you anything on the boundary. You got to go a little bit bigger. Emmanuel Forbes, 6'2", 195 pounds or 200 pounds, depending on what report you're looking at. That is nice boundary cornerback size. A very, very uber productive cornerback in the SEC. That's the cream of the crop. Doesn't get better than that. 14 interceptions in 2+ years as a cornerback at Mississippi State. You got to love it. I'm going with Emmanuel Forbes here. Then you have the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 27. And at pick number 27, I'm going to go with Noah Sewell. I've been flip-flopping. The secondary has been playing a little bit better. But you know what this Dallas defense is missing, or will be missing eventually when all their linebackers are free agents, is they need a downhill run-stuffing linebacker. And that's exactly what Noah Sewell brings you. He brings that high-energy, 6'2", 250 pounds, rock right in the middle of your defense. And that's exactly what they need, because this Dallas defense is fantastic. Top 5, no doubt. But their run defense lacks a little bit. And once you get past that defensive line, it's kind of tough sledding for the run defense. So I think you get someone that could clean up that run defense, you're going to be that much better. So I'm going to go with, where is my man here? Noah Sewell at pick number 27. Then you have the Kansas City Chiefs at pick number 28. And how has Isaiah Foskey fallen this far? Like I said, it's just the way that the board has fallen this week for me. But Isaiah Foskey, if he's here, no brainer. of a pick for Kansas City. It's obviously their biggest need, and he fills a massive need, and he's terrific. So why not put another terrific prospect on the Kansas City Chiefs' already very, very talented roster? Then you have the Minnesota Vikings here, another new face in my first round. Kind of same deal. The New York Jets exposed it almost more than any other team that I've seen this year. Well, the Patriots before that, and then the Jets. The Minnesota Vikings desperately need a boundary cornerback. I mean, Adrian Peterson. Patrick Peterson has been a really, really nice story up until this point this year. He's played pretty well and rekindled some of that magic. The guy just can't run like he used to. He's getting consistently burned. Then you have Cam Dantzler on the other side as well. When he's healthy, he's pretty good, but they need another boundary cornerback pretty bad. I'm going to go with Devin Witherspoon here. I think this is a guy, 6'1", 190 pounds. He's got really nice length and really nice size to be a boundary cornerback. Pardon me. And he also has good speed as well. And I really like the fit. Like I said, I like Clark Phillips a lot, but the dude just screams more of a converted safety or a slot cornerback. And I'm not taking, if I need a boundary corner, I'm not taking a slot cornerback with my first round pick. I'm going to go with Devin Witherspoon at number 29. Then at number 30, you have the Buffalo Bills. And I believe that this was a pick that I made last week. I'm going to make it again here, just in a different spot. Brian Branch. Got to make that safety room a little bit stronger. I know you could go interior offensive line. To me, there's not another interior offensive lineman that's worth taking in the first round, really all the way up until late round 2. I wouldn't consider taking another interior offensive lineman. So Brian Branch is here, a guy with some cornerback background as well. Really, really good safety. I know that he's been pretty inconsistent this year, but his intangibles are great. His instincts are great, and I'm going to go off of that. We've seen Marcus Peters succeed with great instincts in the NFL, so I'm sure Brian Branch can as well. And then with the last pick in the first round, this is where I don't mind taking a slot cornerback, and that's where Clark Phillips is going to go. Can he play on the outside? Absolutely he can. It's just, the size and the speed of the game in the NFL kind of scares me for a guy who's 5'10", 183 pounds playing boundary cornerback. But Clark Phillips is another uber productive cornerback. I believe he has like 7 interceptions this year. He's been pretty fantastic for that Utah Utes defense. And I think that he would definitely make the Philadelphia Eagles' strong defense that much stronger. And then, of course, with the last pick in the first round that doesn't exist, pick number 32, as we all know, there's only 31 picks this year because the Miami Dolphins had to forfeit their first rounder because of the tampering scandal. So I've gone with long snapper, I've gone with kicker, I've gone with punter, I've gone with the last rated running back. So I'm going to go to quarterback here, and I'm going to go all the way down to whoever's last. And it's Tanner Morgan, someone who I wouldn't think would be all the way at the bottom. I'm going to go with Tanner Morgan, and it is an F. It's 2 straight weeks that we got an F. I love it. So there you have it. There is my updated 2023 NFL mock draft after 13 weeks of the NFL season. If you guys like the video, please leave a like, please leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to start ramping up the production. I've been pretty busy with my actual day job, so I haven't been able to get the production out as fastly as I'd like, but I'm going to try and buckle down this next week, and I'm going to try and get you as much content as I physically can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.